Peace. I'm gonna be serious this time, alright? I'm gonna be serious, okay? I'm just gonna introduce myself in a special way, alright? Okay, I was born in Algeria, grew up in Algeria. My father was very religious, so we had to go to a lot of mosques, a lot of madrasas. I was born as a Sunni from Ahl al-Jama'ah wa Sunnah, Ahl al-Sunnah wal Jama'ah. So I studied all the seerah, fiqh, uh, seerah, fiqh, hadith, um, like explanation of the hadith and all that. We were deep into hadith, right? And the seerah of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. Okay, I just can't be serious, man. Honestly, I don't know why. Anyway, so guys, to see where I'm coming from, right? So I grew up with these people. So when I was in early teenage years, right, I used to volunteer with an Islamic party in Algeria. So I used to volunteer, help them out, because they're organizing elections. So I used to help them out wherever I can. I used to go. Most of these people were like da'wah, ahl da'wah, ulama, alama. A lot of people like they knew what this the sunnah is and the hadith is and what everything is. Right, a lot. So people I used to look up to, people I used to believe in, people I used to really trust. You see, and then they called that party like to save us. Right, it's like a saviors party. So Algeria was struggling then with the generals like really selfish, vicious generals. So we thought these people came in to save us because these people said, La ilaha illallah, Muhammadun Rasulullah, and they only follow the Quran and Hadith and the Sunnah. Like we all knew that. We all, grew up with that. So it was in the system. So we used to have a lot of meetings. I used to hear a lot of their speeches as well. I remember young and getting all excited and all that when they say Allahu Akbar and Allahu Akbar, and then we sing that La ilaha illallah Muhammadun Rasul and things like that. I used to get really excited and like we all like hugging each other and we were like, yeah, this is it, we made it. And then the election happened, and then they actually won the first round. But the generals said, oh, no, we're not giving you a country. So I used to be upset with them generals because, to be honest, I didn't like them very well. Because they were very selfish and dictatorship. And I called them A'da Allah. I remember calling them A'da Allah. I remember, calling them all the names in the world. And then they arrested the leaders. The leaders were Ali Bilhaj, Abbas al-Madani. They were the leaders. They arrested them, okay? And then arrested a few more people. And then the people that they came to save us, the people that they say, La ilaha illallah, Muhammadun Rasulullah, picked up arms against their own people. And then I got confused. Okay? But they were giving us hadiths to justify that. They were using the Quran. Well, I didn't know then. You see, I was a very young teenager. I don't want to lie and say my age exactly. So I was confused. So Algeria went through hell, basically. I mean, the generals didn't help it either. But why, if this lot did not pick up arms, Algeria would not go through a civil war, 250,000 people would not be dead, about 120 or 150,000 missing. They would not go missing only if they negotiated properly. It doesn't matter with the generals or not. Let them arrest all of you, right? All of you. You let them arrest all of you because you got involved. You put yourself there. You knew exactly what they're supposed to go through with these generals, but you put yourself there. You do not pick up arms. I was confused at my young age. Why these people picked up arms? Isn't it just about love and all that? You know? Like peace and forgiveness and that. How come you picked up arms? I couldn't understand. But then I went to Hadiths and I started reading the Hadiths that they actually gave us. And yes, they actually say that. They actually say you can kill innocent people. You can do this. You can do that. You can abduct. You can just do anything but the hell you want, really. Do you know what I mean? You can take people's wives. You can do this. And so I was like, what is going on? I didn't see this before. No one told me about this before. Yeah, I've heard few hadiths. Yeah, don't get me wrong. But they weren't as bad as the ones that actually when the push came to shove, all these hadiths came out from nowhere. But that's what I thought, they're from nowhere, but they weren't. Eventually I found out they weren't. They're actually in the Bukhari and the Muslim and the other books. Because they have 10 books, right? 6 of the hadiths and the 4 of the deen, basically. Madahib. And then I've seen my friends that became terrorists and picked up arms. Young people. I'm talking about young, not even teenagers, some of them. I've seen some other friends that became policemen. So my friends are killing my friends. I had my friends going to the army because you have to in Algeria. You have to go to the army. And then when they finished the army, this terrorist killed them. I don't know why. I couldn't understand. It's confusing. It was confusing. It was absolutely confusing at the time. What is this? What's this peaceful religion turned into? Do you understand? I was shocked. This shocked me. Big time. So that war lasted 10 years. 10 years of bloodshed. And then after that, I've seen it in Tunisia, I've seen it in Yemen, I've seen it in Iraq, I've seen it in Syria, I've seen it in Afghanistan, I've seen it in the UK, I've seen it everywhere. Morocco, I've seen it everywhere. So it can't be coincidence. It can't be just few people, is it? Can it? No, it's not few people. It's the ideology. It's only few people can do things, but if they can get more, they can get more. Because look, when the ISIS had invaded Syria and took over, how many people went there? So thousands of people went there. Most of them are reverts, Europeans. See, some of them were in prison. They accepted Sunnism in there, so they came out as terrorists. You know what I'm saying? So all this growing up, thinking they came to save us, and this one of those flyers they give. Right? This is about 25 years old. Yeah, the flyers they give, all the operations they've done, all the people they killed. Everything, right? And basically brainwash and, recruiting more terrorists. So I want to question this. I guess most ex-Muslims, right? Ex-Muslims, when they reject this, they reject this with him as well. Thinking this has something to do with this. And that's why my first ever video was about. Most like you say, I'm an ex-Muslim because he questioned this and he had to question this and then he left everything. But when I question this and I read the books, I've done my research. All I have to do is do research. That's all. Research, okay? For years I've been doing it, reading the Bukhari, reading this, reading that, questioning this, questioning that, questioning that. And this guided me to this. That's the difference between me and the ex-Muslims. So when I came to this, before I say that, you know what? There's some things you can never unsee, can you? Really, do you know what I'm saying? When you see like a head with no body, or a body with no head, you know what I mean? When you see like people you can't even recognize. When you see someone shooting someone to their head, point blank, right? Those things you really can't see all your life. It doesn't matter who you are, in the army or not. This is called trauma, and it sticks to you. You know what I mean? It sticks with you. You don't shake it off. You know what I mean? Like, this was it. When I questioned this, it led me to this. Why not? Because they told us you can't understand the Quran. It's in gibberish. It needs explanation. It needs explanation from other books. So to us, the Quran was for us to memorize and basically accumulate deeds, because they told us, I think there must be a hadith. I'll look for it. It must be a hadith. I'll look for it though. That every letter you read is a good deed. And so we started reading it fast, because you're accumulating deeds. You're actually early in the race. So if you're racing it, how are you going to understand it? If you memorize it, how are you going to understand it? No way. It's like, that's it. Your brain just is set on the fact that you're never going to understand this, because they've got tafsir. So if you want to understand this, you have to go to tafsir, right? And then when I went to tafsir, I tried to understand it with the tafsir. I've seen a lot of this in the tafsir. So I could not use a tafsir, can I? Could I? I could not use a tafsir because they had this in it. So even when I went to the Quran, they're trying to drag me back by explaining it to me with the hadith. And that still didn't make sense, because with tafsir, Islam was still violent. The name of the thing is Islam, which is peace. I can't see any violence in it. You know what I'm saying? It's not supposed to be any violence in the word salam, but you actually managed to create a word that the whole world say now is Islamic terrorism. How the hell did you manage to do that? It's just unbelievable. Unbelievable. How did you mix the black and white to make it one color? When I hear Islamic terrorism, it doesn't make no sense to me now, obviously. Because I thought these poor people were Muslim, but they weren't Muslims. A Muslim doesn't chop people's heads off, and he doesn't do that, take people's women and rape women, doesn't do that. I mean, the government didn't help, so I'm not blaming everything on them, but they started it, they picked up arms, that's what I'm saying. They started shooting people. The fact they started it says everything about them. And despite they had hadiths to support that, that is the problem. That is the point here, the hadith now. My problem was with the hadiths, right? My problem wasn't with Islam, was with the hadiths. My problem was these people who said they came to save us. Now they're always going on about قال الله قال الرسول قال الله قال الرسول قال الله قال الرسول, like Rasul is the Rasul says a hadith. Rasul doesn't say Quran. Yeah, the Rasul said the Quran. That's all. Whatever God said, the Rasul said, the messenger said, right? Exactly the same thing. He didn't add nothing, he didn't explain nothing, he didn't add anything. And that, I got all that information from here. When I got rid of the tafsir, and I thought, this book, I was in fact thinking God, it has to be just, hasn't it? It has to be just, right? If he sent a book to everyone on this planet, right, using just simple logic as a kid, if he wanted this message to reach everyone in the world, he had to make it easy. He had to make it clear. He had to make this language to be translated to a different language. Exactly the same, yeah? Right? Word for word. It has to, innit? Because it has to be a just God. It has to be a perfect God. There's no perfection here. God here is vicious. See, God here is very vicious. Trust me, I was there, man. I was there. I know what I'm talking about, man. Whatever, you can say whatever you want, because you attack the person, not what I'm saying. You don't listen to words. You attack me. You don't even know me, but you attack me. You think you know me. Right? And that's a terrible thing to do in Islam, man. That's a terrible thing to do in Islam. I'm fighting your ideology. I'm not talking about your whoever you do. Your ideology is wrong, man. Just fight my ideology, man. Take a piss out of my ideology. I follow the Quran. Take a piss out of that. How about you take a piss out of that? Go on. Take a piss out of me following the Quran. How about that? How about talking about that idea? So go back to my subject quickly. I won't be long. So I started letter by letter, word by word, trying to find other people who actually, asking questions to other people and see if we started talking to each other and that, because brainwashed to, look how hard it was to get out of that, to break the chains. It's not hard it's not easy to break the chains. It's not easy, it's not. Because I questioned everything for years. Do you understand? It's not easy. Being brainwashed, that's it. It's so hard. You know what I'm saying? Being given a pill that you can never, ever, ever get rid of the side effects. Ever. Do you understand? It was hard. You're done. You're done thinking you're dumb. They made you feel dumb. They made you feel deaf. They made you feel blind. They managed to do that. So this Quran unchained all that. Unchained all that. I laugh at it now, honestly. You know what I mean? After all them years. I laughed at it. I laughed how I used to. I laughed at myself. Like, how did you believe in that? How did they get away with it? I couldn't believe it when I started reading the Quran. There's no violence in here at all. It's all justice. It's all like human rights. It's all about animal rights. It's all about how to live your life in a perfect possible way. How to find peace. How to find guidance. What do you need to get guidance? All from here. Do you think? I'll come back to this. Do you think I will let you and your ideology get away with it? And do it to other people, especially the reverts. The reverts, when they want to find out about Islam, right? There's none of you next to them. What are they going to do? By the Quran. Unfortunately, even the translation of the Quran, you manipulated it. You interpreted to them. Some of the books I see them holding, I feel sorry for them. I don't know them. I like to shout, please don't read that. You distort the translation. You change things in the translation, and I proved it in other videos. Because most of these people don't know Arabic, you actually change the whole thing for them. And then you drag them back to where? You drag them back to this shit. Poor. I feel sorry for them. I always said it. I feel sorry for them. Christians became Sunnis, Jews became Sunnis, or anything like that. Or the other way around, doesn't matter, because it's the same. Exactly the same. So leave people alone. Don't do dawah with this, man. This is Satan's work, honestly. Honestly, this is Satan's work. And I'm gonna basically put all the hadiths out there. I just do a video with every day, 2, 3. I might, when I go away or something, I come back. I always come back. Even if I leave 3, 4 months, 5, probably a year, I come back and keep doing this because I have to. I have to. I can't leave this, man. I've seen it. I lived it. I lived it. I lived this. Nah, no. Probably if I save one person, you know what I mean? One person, it's okay, man. I've done my job. And that's all I have to do. That's what God asked me to do. So if I know that, what Quran is like, and I let you lie to people with this, I can't do it because that's what God is asking me to do. This is one of the salat you don't know about, This is one of the salawat God is talking about. I have to do my best, my ability, right, to get this message to people who do not know. You understand? I have to. I have to do this. It's not like I want to. It's I have to. If I don't do it, might as well, what's the point? There's no point. I have to tell people about the Quran, how peaceful it is. And I'm telling them to read it as a book. Don't read it as this religious, this religious do this and rituals and all that. No, don't read it like that. Read it as a book. Read it as a message. Read it as a storybook. Read it however you want. But don't read it as like a religious book is going to tell you what to do. It's going to do this. It's going to control your life. And whatever you heard, right? Forget about it. Forget about what you heard from the media and that. Just read this book with an open mind and an open heart. And tell me if you're going to see any violence in it. Tell me if it's not the fairest book you've ever read. Not a shred of a doubt, this is not human made. Not a shred of a doubt. It's just the Arabic of it. It's just the balagha in it. It's just how it works all together as a unit, although it looks all separate. It's just so many things that are astonishing, Astonishing, man. Astonishing. I read a lot of books. It's astonishing. Absolutely. And then you go back to the Hadith and the language in them and the way they say things and they're like idiots. Honestly, it's like a 5-year-old wrote that. Honestly. It's like trying to compare the Quran to the Hadith. Are you mad? Are you mental, man? They have no relation to each other. Not in Arabic language and anything. This book has its own language. Nothing to do with your Arabic. Your Arabic, where you always say Arabic. This book has its own language. Nothing to do with your Arabics. You actually got your Arabics from this book and you changed everything. You even messed with the language itself. Now you let's say go to Google and try to Google a word like from the Quran. They always tell you tafsir. They always tell you tafsir. We have tafsir. You always find them first. Instead of going to a dictionary as normal. Now they always show up in Google all over the place. They're everywhere. They're all over the place trying to misguide people. It's a Satan. I'll tell you what, this is a Satan university. Satan university. That's what it is, this. Satan university. I think he's gathered all these people to do this. Honestly, to take away. That's what kuffar is. They're trying to hide this with this. With the hadiths and that. They're trying to hide this with this. That's all they're doing. And most people are just following the idiots. Any of them, ask him 3 questions. Just give you 3 questions, right? He will not know. Asked imams, right? 3 questions. They don't know. They do not know. They had no answer for them. And they have this book, but they still don't have an answer. But what can I say? I have to do this video because this is like, that's the only way I can be serious, basically. You know what I mean? I'm like this, you know what I mean? That's what it is. You have to criticize everything. Everything man. Everything you was born with. Just, no, question it. Everything you was born with, question it. That's why when I raise my son up, right? When my son grown up, I don't put nothing into his head. I speak to him. I speak to his brain. I speak to him as a person, but I never ever do anything, put anything into his head. Nothing, man. Let him think for himself, man. Let him find God for himself. Let him find the truth for himself. I can guide him. I can give him the Quran. I said, read the Quran. I keep telling him, read the Quran. That's all I can tell him. Because it's not my job to make him a Muslim, or it's not my job to take him to heaven or hell. It's not my job. Not me. Himself. He has to take himself to heaven. Every one of you, Sunnis or Shia, you can't. No one's going to take you to heaven. And no one's going to save you. No Sidna Isa, no Jesus is, you think Jesus is coming back, or Mahdi al-Muntadar. No one's coming to save you, man, honestly. No one is coming to save you. You save yourself. And it's not that hard to save yourself. Just understand this, the message. Stop memorizing it. Stop. You're not getting any deeds, man. You're not getting any deeds. Even if you memorize it. What happens? You memorize all the book, right? You memorize it, yeah? And then you die. And then judgment day, right? Look how stupid you will look in front of God. Do you think God's going to be happy clapping for you or something? If you're going to tell him, God, I memorized 6,000 something verses, right? I know them all by heart, okay? And then he tells you, what did you learn from them? I didn't ask you to memorize the book. I told you to understand the book. أَفَلَا تَدَبَّرُونَ الْقُرْآنَ أَمْ عَلَى قُلُوبٍ أَقْفَالُهَا. I told you to study the Quran. Study the verses. Stick them together. That's how that's what a tartil is. To get all the verses talk about salat together. All verses talk about zakat together. And then that makes sense. They come into context. Do you not understand what the salat is? Salat is never ritual, man. It's never ritual salat. That doesn't have a how. It's personal. Do you understand? It doesn't have a how. You don't have to go down anywhere or go up anywhere. It's your actions. Not your body with your body. It's your actions. It's your deeds. But you keep persisting. It has to be a ritual. Oh my God. That's what the mushrikeen do, innit? That's what the mushrikeen do. Idol worship. All the worshippers. They like to do things like this. Throughout history, they all done the same thing. Prostrate, doing this, or going like this, or doing this, or facing something, or... But this doesn't ask you to do that. You don't need to, because God is everywhere. Wherever you look, there is God, right? And he said you can do the salat laying down, on your side, standing up. You can do salat however you want. Do it. It's your choice. It's freedom of choice. That's what Islam is. Ibadah is a choice. The word ibadah is a choice itself. The word ibadah is a choice. It's not an obligation. Whoever wants to believe, believes. Whoever wants to disbelieve, he can disbelieve. No one is forcing anyone to do anything here. No one. There's no killing. There's no having sects. There's no sects. There's no Sunni. There's no Shia. There's Muslim. That's what the book is. The deen is Islam. And when we practice it, we become Muslims. That means we're peaceful. That means we obey the laws from here. And you can't use your emotions or your family or anything like that and mix it with this. You don't mix it with nothing, man. Whatever is just is just. Whatever is not just is not just. That's simple. There's no emotions. If it's logic, logic. If it's not logic, it's not logic. If it's right, it's right. If it's not right, it's not right. I don't care who does it. Because everyone is for himself. But the only way you can make it is to do good deeds for other people. To be the best person you are. To your family, your kids, your wife, your neighbors, people that you work with, towards the law, the human law. You obey the traffic laws. You obey all laws that people put together. That this is here. That's how you start with this. This will teach you everything. Will open your eyes. Read it, not just once though. When you finish it, read it again. Even if it's slowly, take it slowly. If it takes you months to do it, take your time with it. Don't use it as this book is a holy book. That God, that there's a lot of things. You can't do this, you can't do that, you can't. Everything here that God said not to do, or it's haram, it's actually bad for you and your health. You understand? Bad for you, bad for the health, bad for the environment, and bad for other people. That's all. Basically, the Quran is telling you your freedom stops at other people's freedom. That's all it's telling you. So do not go from here to here if you want to find a way, find the truth. Please don't. Please. Please don't. I said what I have to say. Peace out.